Hey guys. Haven't done this in a while. Hey guys, welcome back to Louie's Live. So for this week's video, I have a story time for you guys. I haven't done story time videos in a while because my life's not all that interesting and I don't have a lot to say. That's why I kind of moved away from the story times because my life's not all that interesting. But a couple of days ago, me and my boyfriend were talking about like scary stories, like things that have happened to us. And I remembered about a story that happened to me and I was like, oh my god, why haven't I done this story time for my YouTube channel? Like, why not? Enough me blabbering about other stupid shit. Let me just tell you guys the story. So I'm gonna start off by telling you guys a little bit of background information about the place where this takes place. So there was this building that used to be homes for people. It was like apartments, a multiple amount of apartments in a building. So it wasn't like separated buildings with apartments. It was just one big building, kind of like a hotel type of thing, but with like apartments inside of it. And this building burned down a long time ago. I was probably like 10 years old or so, maybe even younger. It didn't completely burn down to the point where everything was made into ashes. It just burned up. Like, the fire started at the bottom floor and it just traveled all the way up to the top floor. So the place was pretty much fucked up from the inside and it was all burned up, but it did not like collapse or anything. It was just burnt. So I believe the fire started, I'm not even sure, this happened a long time ago, but I believe the fire started because someone left like a candle on or something like that, and it lit something up and then it just started this humongous fire and it burned up the whole building. But don't quote me on that. I'm not even sure how this happened, but I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. So when that place burned down, a lot of people died while living in there because of the smoke, because of the fire, like for a bunch of different reasons, but people died while living in there. And like a couple years later, another person ended up buying like the whole building to remodel it. So they remodeled the whole building and they made new apartments, and in the bottom of the building was now a restaurant. So it's a restaurant in the bottom and then there's stairs for you to go to the apartments up on top. But obviously you can't go there unless you live there or you know someone who lives there. But anyone can go to the restaurant in the bottom. And when the place was done being built, like the restaurant was there and everything was done and you were able to go inside, my dad had heard a lot of good things about the food at the restaurant. So this one time my dad came home and he was like, hey, you know that new restaurant that just opened up? I've heard a lot of good things about the food. Do you guys want to go? And I was like, yeah, I want to go. I'm always down for food. So obviously my whole family was going to go as well. So this restaurant is not like a basic restaurant. It's like pretty fancy, I guess you can say. It looks really nice from outside. Inside it looks really nice. Like they did a really good job remodeling that whole area because it looks really nice. I honestly think it would look even better and more like fancy if it was a restaurant on its own and not really part of the building. But I mean, it's still cute. They remodeled it really nice. So it literally looked like they just built something new and put it on top of the burnt building, but it was the exact same building. But while eating, I didn't think much about like the people who passed away in the building or the building burning. Like I just didn't even think about it. I was just eating my food, enjoying it, having a good ass conversation with my parents. So when I was done eating, I have a fast metabolism. I think that's how you pronounce it. So whenever I eat, I have to go to the bathroom like ASAP, bitch. Like I eat it and then my fucking stomach like cuts it the fuck down and it's like, dude, I'm ready to go take a shit. So as soon as I'm done eating, I was like, okay, I need to hit the restroom. Where is it at? So I asked one of the workers, like, where could I find the restroom? And they're like, oh, it's on this side of the building. So the restroom is kind of part of the apartment. So it's on the side where all the apartments were at, like on the little hallway. So she tells me where to go to find the restroom. And immediately when I started walking to the restroom, I just started feeling really like scared, like paranoid, I guess you can say. But then again, I didn't really think much of it because I always feel like there's someone watching me, someone behind me. Like whenever I'm alone, in like a lonely spot, I always think like the worst. Like I'm always like, oh my god, there's a fucking ghost, someone's gonna fucking try to rape me, like a witch bitch is gonna take me out of nowhere right now. So I was like, you know what, I'm just overthinking things, let me just chill the fuck out. So to get to the restroom, here's the restaurant, and you exit a door from the restaurant and there's a hallway where all the apartments were at, and you keep walking down the hallway and the restrooms are to your right. I'm sorry, I'm trying to explain that to the best of my ability. But like I said, the restrooms are on the hallway where all the apartments were at. And so while walking down this hallway, it was very scary because it's lonely and everything's just white, like everything in there was painted white. So for some reason that scared me even more because I was like, if anything pops out, I'm gonna be able to notice it because everything in here is white, and if something else pops up, I'm gonna be like, bitch, I see you. So I was walking to the restroom and I was like, okay, like I'm not gonna think anything, like I'm just gonna walk to my fucking restroom, get my business done, and get the fuck out. I never like going to the restroom alone no matter where it is. I always have someone wait for me outside, or have like my boyfriend come inside with me. Not while like I'm taking a shit, but just him being like in the restroom while I'm in the stall. But back when this happened, obviously I didn't have a boyfriend or anything like that. It was just me and my family, and I was gonna be like, oh hey Dan, like come to the restroom with me. He was gonna be like, bitch, suck it the fuck up and go to the restroom alone. So every time I go to the restroom, I always go to the biggest stall because I don't like the little stalls. So I go to the biggest stall, and when I'm in the restrooms, I hate like the stalls. Usually where you close the door of the stall, there's like a little crack. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. But there's a little crack where if someone walks by or like peeks through, they can see you like sitting down in the toilet like taking a shit. So I hate that, which is why I hate using public restrooms, because I'm like, dude, someone's gonna see me. Like if someone's waiting in front of the stall door, there's gonna be that little peek or that little crack, and they're just gonna be like, bitch. And I hate that because it's happened to me before. I've had times where people look at me through that little crack and they're just like, and I'm like, bitch, I'm trying to fucking go to the restroom. Like, do you want to help me take a shit? Like, do you want to take it out of my ass? So when I sit in the restroom, I'm just like hoping, like, I hope no one comes in because I don't want someone to see me taking a shit. But the whole time while I was in the restroom, I kept looking through that little crack, making sure like no one popped up. But I always have like these little like scenes or scenarios, whatever, in my head. So at the moment, I kept like thinking that someone was just gonna like pop up and look at me, but not like a regular person, like a ghost or like a demon or a scary person. Like I was just having really bad thoughts and a really bad energy. Because usually when I'm having these thoughts, like paranormal thoughts, I just try not to think about it and it usually goes away and I ignore it and I'm good. But this time, like I kept trying to like ignore it, but I couldn't. Like, I don't know if I was thinking about it even more because I knew what had happened to this building, but I kept thinking I was just gonna see like a scary eye like pop up like in those movies and shit. But the whole time in the restroom, I kept feeling like there was someone inside with me, like another person or someone staring at me. Like, you know, like when you can feel like someone staring at you and you turn around and then usually there's always someone staring at you. It's one of like your 7 senses, I guess you can say. I think that's what they're called. So I was like, bitch, I know there's someone staring at me. Like I can feel it. Like, is there a camera in here? So I looked in the restroom to see like if there was any sort of cameras in there. But there wasn't. I kept listening to make sure like I didn't hear like someone inside of the restroom or like someone open the door, because I really felt that presence of someone staring at me. But I was staying super quiet and I did not hear anyone. I could not see anything. So I was like, okay, I'm just being very paranoid. Let me just do my business, bitch. So as I'm done doing my business, I leave the stall, like the big stall. And the big stall was right in the corner. So it's like in the corner of the restroom. So I leave and I start washing my hands. But while I'm washing my hands, I feel the exact same fucking presence. Like someone's staring at me, and at this point I was getting fucking like shitting bricks because the stall was right behind me as I was washing my hands. So there's a big mirror and the stall is like to the right of me. Like it's on this side of me. And the bathroom stall door was open because like I left it open. So while I was washing my hands, I kept feeling like a bitch staring at me from the back, and I'm not even kidding you. And like I hate this kind of stuff. Like I hate feeling like someone's staring at me, especially when I know there's no one fucking there, because I'm like, dude, okay, like what's going on? And I hate these type of things. Like I'm such a pussy when it comes to like scary stuff. Like you can ask anyone. I'm just so scared of it. Like I'll watch a movie about it, but then I won't be able to fall asleep like at all, and I just can't live in those type of situations because a bitch will get scared. Every time I looked down, because I was not gonna be staring at the mirror, because I was like, if I stare at the mirror and I see a bitch behind me, I will fucking scream at the top of my lungs. So I was like, I'm just gonna wash my hands and get the fuck out of here. So every time I was looking down to wash my hands, I could fucking see something behind in the stall. I could see something like a black spot just like standing there. I can't even tell you what the fuck the spot was doing, like, or whatever was there. Like I couldn't tell they were standing up, they were sitting down. Like I don't know and I don't want to remember. But I know there was a black spot behind me. But again, I was like, you know what? I'm just being paranoid and I'm making these images in my head. And as I was like about to dry my hands with like the napkins, I hear the door go like that squeaking noise. And I'm not saying like, oh my god, there was like a ghost right there and they were trying to fucking like fuck with the door to scare me. It could have just easily been like the door hanging and just opening more. But at the moment where you're like in a scary situation and you hear like little noise and stuff, anything's gonna fucking scare you. So I hear the door crack and bitch, like I dropped my napkins and I fucking got out of that bathroom as fast as I fucking could. Like I was so scared and I was done. And I go back to the restaurant like like fucking scared, and my parents were like what the fuck is going on? So like I walk and like I try to keep it chill. I'm just like, and I start like walking back to the table. Obviously I wasn't gonna make a scene and be like, there's a fucking ghost! Ah! So like I just kept it chill and I was like, everything's fine. And then my dad was like, are you okay? Like when I sat back at the table, and I was like, yeah. And he was like, are you sure? And I just told him like I kept hearing noises like in the restroom, and I felt like a paranormal like presence, or like there was a ghost in there and stuff. Like I explained it to my dad, and I'm comfortable telling my parents shit like this because of all the other paranormal experiences that have happened to me before. So I like telling my parents stuff because I know they're not gonna be like, bitch, you're lying, like that didn't happen, like bitch, shut the fuck up. So I feel comfortable telling my parents, and my dad just like kind of stayed quiet and like looked away. Like he made a face where I knew I was like, bitch, don't fucking play with me, like what the fuck's going on? Like I was like, where are the cameras? Like is this a joke? Like what happened? I was just like, what's going on? So I tell my dad like, what? Like after I told him like what had happened to me, he was like, oh, nothing. And I was like, nothing? Like that's not your nothing face. Like I know something's going on. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna tell you, but don't get scared. And I was like, so when someone tells you that, like, oh, I'm gonna tell you, but don't get scared, that's when you know a bitch is gonna get scared. So I was like, okay, what? Like, what are you gonna tell me? So he was like, well, you remember when the building burned down? And I was like, yes, I remember when the building burned down. And I guess he told me that since the fire started like at the bottom floor and then it like traveled to the top, obviously like the most damage is gonna be like at the first floor because that's where it started. So he asked me first, he's like, what stall did you go into? And I told him like, oh, I went into like the biggest stall. He's like, is that the one in the corner? And I was like, yeah, because he didn't know if the bathroom was remodeled the same or if it was like remodeled differently. But basically he told me that when the fire started, I don't know, there was like a man. We don't know if like he went to the bathroom because he was trying to run away from the smoke, or if he was trapped in there, or like, I don't know how it happened, but I guess when they were like going through the building and people were like passed away or people were hurt, I guess he was like one of the few people who like passed away, and this man was found in the bathroom, like on the floor of the bathroom, like the men's bathroom in the big stall. So like again, I don't know if this guy was like trying to like stay in one spot and like wait for help, or like trying to avoid all the smoke or something. I don't know, because obviously if you like breathe in a lot of the smoke, it can also kill you because it's smoke. So my dad pretty much told me that this man like died in the bathroom, and I was like, oh hell no, bitch, like you're lying to me, like you're lying to me. Because now I know for a fact that it wasn't me being paranoid, it wasn't me just being like, okay, like I'm just being dumb, like, you know. I know that for a fact that I'm pretty sure his spirit was like in there, or I don't know, but I know something, a part of him was in there. Oh my god, I can't even speak. But it was just so like, are you fucking kidding me? Like the rest of that day I was just kind of like I was so speechless. Like I don't know what to say, because like I knew it wasn't part of like my imagination. Like how the fuck was I gonna know that someone passed away in the bathroom, and like I was gonna be like, okay, like, you know, someone passed away in here, like I need to be aware. Like no, I had no idea. I went to the bathroom just like to do my business, and in that stall I kept feeling someone staring at me, like a presence, like, you know. And while I was washing my hands, I could see something there, and I was like, bitch, you're fucking kidding me, like dad, you're fucking with me. But he was like, no, like why would I lie about stuff like that? And I know my dad wouldn't lie to me about like shit like that, especially to scare me because of everything that's happened to me before. He's not gonna fucking try to scare me even more so that I can live like a more miserable life and be like, dude, I'm always being haunted. So I was like, oh hell to the motherfucking no. So like that day I was just thinking about so many things. I was like, so like was this presence like trying to hurt me, or was it like just trying to like creep me out, or like scare me away, or like just watching over me? Like I don't fucking know. But the worst part of that whole like scenario, like thing that just happened, is that I was fucking taking a shit, and like I was literally sitting like, and I was like, dude, like I was taking a shit while all this happened. If you would have fucking scared me or something, I would have probably fucking ran out with like half my shit like coming out of my butt or something. So that really scared the shit out of me, and ever since then I did not want to go back to the restroom ever again, or even that building. The food was really good at that restaurant, but I was like, bitch, no. So it was just a very scary like place to be in and experience, even though nothing really bad happened to me. Like he didn't fucking possess me, he didn't eat me out or anything like that. It was just scary. But yeah, that's it for this story time. I just remembered it because like I said, I was telling my boyfriend not that long ago, and I was like, why don't I just make this a video? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my story. Please make sure you give this video to 6K likes. I know we can do it. And if you want to hear any other story times or any other sort of video, please let me know down in the comments below. Like I said, my life's not all that interesting, so I don't have a million stories to tell you guys, but if I ever remember like a good story that I know you guys might like, I will make sure to make a video about it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and yeah, that's gonna be it for this week's video. Peace. Bye guys.